Hi there, it's the Common Magician, as always with something interesting to show you. I've got some silver dollars here. I've got exactly 1, 2, 3, 4 coins. I'm going to hold them securely on this side, and as I do that, I'm going to squeeze over here. I find that if I concentrate, often I can get one to move from this side all the way over to this side. Very magically. You can see now I've got 1 coin over here, and I've got 3 coins over here. Again, it just gives me that same total of 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now let's try this again. If I hold my 1 coin on this side and my 3 coins over here, if you listen, you can hear the moment when one travels from this side over to this side, leaving me with 2 coins here and 2 coins over here. Again, it's still just 4 coins, 4 total coins. Now, if we try this again, see if we can get the 3rd coin to travel. I'm going to hold my 2 coins on each side, but not from this side to this side. No, no, no. We're going to go from here over to here, leaving me now with 1 coin on this side and 3 coins over on this side. Again, it's just 1, 2, 3, and 4 coins. Now, the last one happens very, very quickly. You see, if I rub it on the back of my hand, it will dematerialize very, very slowly. Right through the hand, completely gone, leaving me now with 1, 2, 3, 4 coins. Hi there, it's the Common Magician, and we're back again. Putting out a lot of videos lately, having the time to do it in the evening. This time we're looking at some more coin magic, as promised. The last video we were looking at gaffed coin magic, so magic using particular types of gaffs, fairly high-end, normally expensive gaffs, but of course looking at a more affordable alternative, which was the Super Triple coin. This is the Morgan dollar version, and I carry this on me all the time for the reasons that I talked about in there, but I also carry on me all the time in a little wallet. I've got a little wallet in my back left pocket. I keep my wallet for my money in my right pocket, and then I keep this in my left pocket. It's got the Super Triple coin in it, but it also has 4 silver dollar. These are actually steel stamps. These are not authentic. They are steel Morgan dollars, and you can see, give you an up-close look here. And they have a nice patina finish. Because they're steel, what I did is I used some gun bluing, so bluing that you would use for firearms to turn steel black, and I blued them so that turns them black, a black color, kind of a flat black, and then I polish them off again, and that leaves behind a very durable, long-lasting kind of patina finish on these otherwise very inexpensive steel replicas of Morgan silver dollars. They're pretty good replicas if you don't compare them directly with a real coin. They look like a real old coin. And you can get these. I think I got these, like 10 of them for maybe $15, something like that. So it was a really, really good deal, and they were quite consistent all the way across. All 10 of them looked exactly the same, relatively the same, with very small discrepancies between the two, if any. So anyway, that's what I carry on me, and they're not an exact match to my my Super Triple coin. They're magnetic, you can see, because this is a magnet and this is steel. They can stick to each other. I don't use that feature ever, but they are close enough. You can see this has a little bit more of a gray hue to it, but with the patina, kind of the fake patina finish on this that I made with a permanent marker, and then this one with the bluing, I can easily do a routine with this coin. Either multiple coin routine or what it would appear to be a single coin routine using the features of this gaff, and then swap it for one of these and then hand it out, and nobody would notice. It would go right over their heads. So anyway, we're going to look at this other side of coin magic for the Common Magician, using just real coins, regular coins, no gaffs, no fishy things going on, just some basic sleight of hand. And the only sleight of hand that I'm employing in this is a classic palm. That's it. That's the only thing we're doing is a classic palm in this little routine. And we're going to depend on some other kind of structural designs, structural elements to help us fool our audience. So let me talk about the technical issues first. I'll go through step by step what the routine is, and then we'll dig a little deeper and talk about how you can make this work. I'm doing this just for the camera, just you and me here, and no interaction and no movement, which makes it very hard to make it work well. So if it worked okay for you on this viewing, imagine how well it can work if you have group dynamic and you're actually talking to a real person and able to move around and do the show. Right? And we'll talk a little bit about showmanship also. So let's get into it and look at what's going on during this little routine. Okay, so first of all, we're going to depend heavily on the classic palm, coin classic palm, for both hands, right? So what's happening here is the coin, and this works really well with a large coin. Of course, it can work well with a poker chip, which a poker chip is approximately the size of a silver dollar. That's about the size that a poker chip is. It matches a silver dollar pretty well in terms of the actual radius or the diameter. The thicknesses can vary, but you can practice with poker chips. Some people like to use poker chips instead of using coins for various reasons. Coins can look a little bit fishy to people, that you'd be carrying around kind of antique-y looking coins. I find that it's better to use something that's a realistic antique-y looking coin than to use something that's not. So, for example, I think if you live in the northern hemisphere, in the Americas, you probably wouldn't want to do this with some kind of knockoff Chinese looking coin, right? And there's a lot of things we can think and feel about that, but those look like magic props. These are quite tangible and real. They can be examined. They can be looked at. They don't look like they were made for magic. They look like they were kept. They were passed down, or they were found, and they were acquired or something like that from a bank. And that's what we're going for. We're looking for something that has a verisimilitude about it. It's got kind of a real sensibility to it. So that's what we're using, and because it's a large coin, getting back to the classic palm here, it's very easy to palm. It just needs to sit kind of as far back as you can get it in the hand, and if you just relax, you don't really squeeze, if you just relax, you'll see that you can kind of pick that up. Now, some people really, really worry about this pinky, right? About keeping it out flat and trying to make it look open and flat. It is true. This is a common magician moment of reality, okay? We like to have those no-nonsense moments of reality. Yes, there are some people that can get a classic palm that looks like this. They're holding something, and really anybody can. If you work hard enough at it, eventually you'll find the right nuance, the grip to get things to stay still. You can practice by holding something in classic palm all day long. I've done that a little bit, not very much, but you can do that, and eventually you'll develop a feeling for it. The reality, though, is that you don't want to try to have your hand open. You just want to try to have your hand open, if you follow what I mean. You don't want to try to have your hand open. You just need to try to have your hand open. Okay, and natural, and it took me a while to really learn this. I didn't get this for many years, and one day it just kind of hit me. This is natural. This is a naturally open hand, right? This is not a tell that I'm holding on to something, right? And especially if I turn my hand over, I can show it like this. If I gesture openly like this, I'm still giving coverage to the coin that's sitting in my hand. I don't need to open, like this and put my pinky out and do some kind of weird motion to overly prove that my hand is empty. My hand is open in this kind of situation. So you can classic palm, and every now and then you'll find that when you try to put it into palm, it's not a very good grip, and you're in front of spectators, and you can't do anything about it. So you're going to have to just accept that this is natural enough in the moment. Don't do anything different. Don't try to change the grip. Just go with what, dance with the one that brung you whenever you're in that moment. So classic palm, just down here as low as you can get it, relax, and the muscles on this side, this kind of meaty tissue on the thumb and the meaty tissue at the base of the pinky will come together and hold that coin relatively in grip. This is classic palm. We need to be able to do it in both hands for this routine, because we're going to do a pass, a false transfer pass, on a couple of occasions, but we're going to use both hands to do it, okay? The second feature that is important to this, and you don't necessarily need it, but I found early on when I was working on doing coin magic, I hated the fact that I had a ring on. I mean, I'm married, and I like the fact that I'm married and I have a ring on, but I didn't like the fact that I had this ring on there because I kept making noise. I always got these clicks and clangs that I did not want to have happen. Until it occurred to me that I can just avoid that hand for a lot of dirty work. Duh, you know, that's one thing you can do. And the other thing is why don't I just use it? If I use the clang, then I don't have a liability, I have a feature. So that's something I'm using. I'm making use of my ring to get rings, to get sounds, clicks and clangs when I need them, just as subtleties at subtle moments. And I'll show you how that works. And it's not very overt. It's not like I'm holding a coin in my hand and ringing it around trying to pass it off as two. You can do that in some cases, by the way, but and we may look at that in the future. But what I'm using it for is just a very subtlety, a very subtle convincer for a false count. Okay, we're going to do a false count off of the palm, off of the classic palm. So let's look at how that works. So here is the routine, and we'll deal with the false count when we get there. The first phase is that I pick up the coins, and it's good to have a table for the ending, okay, so that you can kind of get the coins away from the hands. What I do is I pick up the coins and I place them in my right hand so that I have the bottom coin sitting in classic palm position. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, when I count them, I'm going to turn my hand over and let the three fingers out of classic palm, or the three coins out of classic palm, into my finger hold or finger palm like this. And then I'm going to do a false count. Now watch, the way this works is I push out one coin and I'm going to knock my ring. And I say 1, and then I say 2. So I come forward, I push out a coin, I say 1, then I say 2, and I drop it on my ring. I drop it right on the ring. 2, 3, 4. And now I false counted 1 as a coin when there was nothing there. I faked it, right? The coins, when I said 1, were below the coverage of my fingertips. I say 1, 2, 3, 4. And the subtlety is there that when I drop 2, I have a ring to drop it onto. That's it. That's the subtlety. So you have that convincing sound that you hear that indicates that there's another coin in the hand. Now, you don't need to do that. You really don't. You can try this false count without it, and it probably would work just as fine. You say 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 is on the sweep. That's a false count. Nothing's happened yet, right? So you're just showing the coins. There's nothing happening. I firmly believe that you should not demonstrate, what you have at great length before you start doing dirty work. Just my opinion, right? It seems to me that it's a better strategy to get to dirty work as fast as possible. Start the dirty work when you're just getting people aware of what's going on. Don't wait until everybody fully understands the situation to start doing funny stuff. Do the funny stuff as you are introducing what's going to happen. Okay, so right away, I pick up the coins, I show them, and the first time I say I've got 4 is when I do the false count. I say 1, 2, 3, 4 coins. And now I'm in classic palm over here, just a natural hold. Again, you don't have to have your hand out flat, just natural. It's in classic palm. And then I'm going to gesture. I can gesture with a relatively open hand. You want to watch your angle here. Just keep your hand kind of tilted back towards yourself. Think about it like a necktie with cards, right? So you're not showing the top of it. You're not showing where the coin is at. And you can kind of spread your fingers a little bit. Gesture, I've got 4 coins over here. And then you say, I'm going to hold them securely on this side, and I'm going to squeeze over here as well. And they see this moment of an open hand and then an open hand going to closed. And that projects openness and emptiness. Okay, everything about that says there's 4 coins over here and nothing over here. And then I say, when I concentrate, I find that I can sometimes get one to move from this side over to this side. And that's the reveal. You drop it out of classic palm down to the fingertips and show the coin. And then you can present that there's 3 on this side, 3 coins over here. Right? Now, what I'm going to do is immediately, I'm going to drop this coin back into classic palm. I don't stay here very long. I drop it back into classic palm position, and then I drop the coins over to here. And then I spread them as if to show. This happens very quickly. As soon as I show that there's 3 here and 1 over here, I put them back together. I do it immediately. You don't wait, okay? Because we're going to do another false count. So I say, again, I only have, and I've done it again, I've gone into classic palm, I've got 3 in finger palm, or 3 in finger hold, and then I say I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 4th one I hold in my hand. I say 4. So now the imagery is that I've got 3 in this hand, and I've just done the same move twice. I've got the 4th one here, but I've actually got the 3rd one here and the 4th one in classic palm. Now everything about this situation says there's 1 coin and 3 coins. So immediately I go back into it again. I close this hand, and then I put this one into finger rest, finger hold, and then I bring it underneath, very old coin kind of maneuver here. I bring it underneath in finger palm, underneath my classic palm coin, and I hold my hand open. And I say, you can hear the moment when 1 more travels from here to here. Listen close. And then you just drop that from classic palm. You hear the clink over there. And then you can show. Now, when I show this, I show both coins, both hands rather, the same way, with coins, 2 coins sitting here, 2 coins sitting here. Now, I want to have, what I want to have is I want to have this coin, the back coin on the left hand, in classic palm position. Because what I'm going to do is a false transfer. I'm going to take these 2 coins. I'm going to say I've got 2 coins over here, 2 coins over here. Again, there's just 4. And I'm going to drop 1 coin onto the other 2 coins and hold this one in classic palm. I drop it over here. I bring my hand back in a natural position, and then I just jog these up and down. I don't show them openly. I have my fingers curled up, and I just bounce them as if there's 4 there. Again, timing really matters. You don't want to spend a lot of time in any one place. I drop it in. I say, I just have the 4 coins. Everything about this moment says there are 4 coins here and nothing's over here. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is, without mentioning it or talking about doing it, I'm just going to bring the coins. I'm going to classic palm 1 coin over here and drop 2 down into finger rest. And I'm going to trade them back over to my other hand like this. And immediately as I do this, I'm going to close my hand. So now I've got 2 coins over here, 1 in classic palm, 1 in this hand closed, right? And then I close my hand. Now, same thing, I'm going to curl these under in my finger rest position. And it doesn't matter, I can drop this right on top at this point. Now, the situation right now has an expectation. The spectator expects that I'm going to take the 3rd coin from this hand and put it over here. And I say, let's see if we can get the 3rd coin to travel. Not from here to here. No, no, no. I'm going to make it go from here over to here. And then you show all 3 coins in this hand, and then you can show 1 coin over here. So turn the hands over, 3 on this side, 1 over here. And this is very clean, very open. You've made 1 move, okay? So now 3 coins have traveled. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take 2 of these coins and I'm going to drop them over here. And as I do that, I'm going to count. I say, remember, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 coins. And I leave this one in classic palm position because what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this hand over, and then I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm going to turn the hand over, keeping it in classic palm, but I'm going to do some acting. I'm going to pretend as if I'm catching the coin at my fingertips and then holding it out, okay? So it looks kind of like this. I turn my hand over and I hold it out. And I say in one fluid motion The last one happens very quickly. You see, if I rub on the back of my hand, it will dematerialize. And I can separate my fingers, and I'm holding it here behind my knuckles in my hand, but the hand looks empty. And I just rub my fingers together, holding it in classic palm. And I can even brush my fingers like this. I say, it's completely gone. This is very open look, completely gone. And then I open my hand, and I show that I have coins in it. Now, I don't open up fully so they can see that there's only 3. I'm gonna fake this here in a moment. I open my hand, and I say, and indeed, there are 4 coins. The 4 coins move into the hand. The 4th coin moves into the hand. And then I reach down immediately, and I pretend to take a coin, and then I bring my fingers up, I catch it out of classic palm, and I drop it on the table. And then, so that leaves me clean now. Then I come back, I count 1, and I come back for another. I say 2, and then 3, and then 4 coins, and you're left clean. So that is the short routine of traveling coins, traveling 4 coins traveling from one hand to the other. So let's talk about the presentational issues related to a little routine like this. There has been a long-standing discussion about whether or not magicians are actors. Are magicians actors? I will weigh in on it, and I say yes, magicians are actors. They really must be, simply for the fact that when we're doing something, we have to portray that it's happening. You could be someone, like Penn and Teller, true skeptics, and you present your magic as tricks, but ultimately in the presentation, you are acting as if it's happening, right? And the audience knows that it isn't, and you have that contract with them that you know that they know that it isn't, and they know that you know that it isn't, but you act like it is, right? It's acting. One way or the other, you're acting. You really are. Now, the question is are you acting as a character, as a person? Are you becoming a different person other than the person that you are? Normally, in general, I say that those of you that are common magicians like me, you really can't perform for the people you know, family and friends, if you're acting like somebody different. You need to be yourself, right? You have to. There are professionals that, because of that, they say, well, you're not supposed to perform for family and friends. You're supposed to perform for other people. Don't perform for family and friends. It never works out. You don't do that. You really put on a good show. You become the character you're supposed to be, and then you do the show for those other people. Well, that isn't how it works with the common magician, right? It isn't. I will say that you can code switch to a degree, right, where you act a little bit differently in the presence of one group of friends than you do in another. You act differently in front of your boss, and you say things differently in a certain way in a professional setting than you do at home when you're talking to your family, your kids, your friends, whatever. That's normal. That's not deceptive. That's professionalism is what it is. Likewise, I think when you go into a magical routine, I think there are some things that you can change about your personality, just a little bit, right? You can accentuate the person that you are. You can be bigger than life, but still be the same person, and that's what you need to be. The word is charisma. Charisma. We need to be charismatic. We need to be free and open and kind of an exaggeration of ourselves whenever we're performing magic. It's very beneficial. If you think about the best performers that really have charisma down, the performers that you would probably name would be, Danny D'Ortiz, Juan Tamariz, right? Leonard Green. These guys are all from the same school, very charismatic, and they have something else going for them too, at least for the American audience or the English-speaking audience, is that there's a language barrier that's part of their charm. It's part of their charisma. And it helps with the confusion and the overlaying things that are happening, right? It helps a great deal. So, we're not that. So how do you do that same thing when you don't have that kind of gimmick available to you, such as what they have? Well, I think that they're doing more than just that, right? It's not merely the language barrier that helps those guys be really good at what they do. They're also very carefully constructing their interaction so that storylines intertwine. You have a spectator doing something here related to something 5 steps down the road, and you have another spectator thinking about something here that's related to step 8, right? And they intertwine and then intersect. You have to organize things like that. One thing that's in this little routine is we change the narrative in the middle, right? Instead of going from one to the other, before they know that's what's going to happen, it already has gone the other way. And then we merely demonstrate it, and that helps us to be one ahead. Things like that, right? There is a technical level at which you can bring charisma into your performances just by being unpredictable, by having a very carefully planned unpredictability. Very carefully planned unpredictability. You need to have planned spontaneity, and it needs to be convincing. Okay. Now, charisma can also be like I said, an exaggeration of personality. There is one English-speaking magician that always comes to my mind when I think of someone who comes close to these giants of card magic in his performance. Gregory Wilson is one of the most charismatic performers around. He has a personality that it's like chasing a squirrel. You don't know where he's going, right? And by the time you catch up, he's already there, and there's no hope, right? There's no hope. And that's very disarming, very disarming. So what I would recommend is that you watch people that you like that perform the way you would like to perform, and then you integrate that personality into your own, right? You find a way to make those traits match, or rather mesh, with the traits that you already have. Okay, you can still be you and borrow and pick and choose elements from great performers to make something that works for magic presentations and the sort of a one ahead kind of pattern that you have to have in order to make this stuff work. Okay, so charisma, charisma, charisma. Borrow lines from movies, borrow lines from books, steal traits from people that you love that are good public speakers, good performers, people that do magic well, but people that do other things well as well. And, start introducing that into your own person. We never change. As we go through life, we're always changing. We don't ever, I shouldn't say we never change. We never stop changing. We're always changing. We do not stay stagnant. We don't become a person and then never change after that. If you hold to that sort of philosophy and doctrine, you're going to have miserable relationships, I can tell you that, because we always have to navigate and negotiate with the people that we interact with. So given that, be willing to change in other aspects as well. Try to take risks in your personality and in your interactions with people. Try to do some of those outgoing things. Try to carry on conversations longer and more deeply with people, and learn how to make really good connections at a conversational level. And that will help this a great deal, because if you can interact with the person in a real and genuine way over coins, then the coins become second nature, right? The cards become second nature. You have to really, really focus on your interaction and your charisma. So that's what I've got for you today. We'll be looking at more coin magic in the future. So again, classic palm and false transfers and false count. Use things like rings to your advantage. Don't consider them a liability. Use things that you have, right? Find a way to make the things that are stumbling blocks work for you. Always be looking for that. Keep it simple, and keep it simple. Be fluid, keep it simple, and have fun. So that's what I got for you today. Good luck and happy magicking.